Good morning. Welcome to Monday Mindset. Hope you guys had a great weekend, as always. It is June 15th. It's 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so it is time for Monday Mindset. I had the chance to interview, give a second for people to jump on, but had the chance to interview the past CEO of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and got their take on leadership and running teams and some of the things. And I want to share with you one of the things that they said that was so powerful. I think I've quoted it maybe 5 or 6 times to my team since having that interview. And I think it will really help you set your week off right. So let me just make sure. I always like to make sure because of how many times I mess up the audio on this thing. I always like to make sure that you guys can actually hear me. Hopefully you guys are having a great Monday. It was a beautiful weekend here in Philadelphia. I was able to take my kids to the pool, and they're just learning how to swim, which is awesome. Let's see. Make sure that you guys can actually hear. Comment in if you are listening in and you can hear this right now. But, all right, let's see. There we are. All right, I can hear, but it is quiet. So maybe I just have to speak a lot louder because it is quiet, and I don't know why, if it's the mic that is using, but let me see. Let's really use this microphone. Okay, so I want to share with you what the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services shared with me that I thought was super, super powerful. They basically shared that, they've been, their whole journey, they just retired as chairman of the board for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. So that's all the real estate assets. There's a lot of mortgage, title, all that stuff built up in there. But they, their journey was they were a mega producing agent. Then they went up and built their own company called Intero. Intero got bought out by Berkshire Hathaway. They went on to lead as CEO, and then they got promoted to chairman over all of what Berkshire Hathaway was owning within the home services and title and insurance and all that stuff space. And Gino is his name, but Gino shared with me that, Luke, he's never met a individual producer or a team that has failed because they didn't get the latest tools. Most people are out there chasing the shiny object, right? You're chasing the shiny object. You think there's a system you need. You think there's a tool that you need in order to help you. But ultimately, he said, I've never found anybody that failed because of tools. He goes, they all fail because of one thing. They get too casual. And he said, when you get casual in your life and get casual in your business, casual leads to casualties. And that spoke to me, that quote right there, that when you become casual, you lead to casualties because you immediately start the slope of mediocrity. You immediately start the decline. And he says, I see it time and time again in all teams. I can walk into a company and I can immediately tell you if they are going to succeed or not succeed. And it's about how casual they are. Casual in how they show up to meetings, casual in how they're prepared, casual in how they answer their phone calls, casual in how they're executing in their day. And he said the moment somebody becomes casual is when they lead to casualties. And it resonated with me because it's a new way to kind of frame this idea of accountability and discipline. And most of us go through life and we know the biggest weakness we have is not head knowledge, it's heart knowledge. Is we have the knowledge up here of knowing what to do. We just never execute on it to actually implement it. And if we do it for such a short sprint that we can't get the results that we need because we're not disciplined enough in it. And I always tell people this, success, if you want to be successful, you've got to show up, do what you don't want to do that you know you need to do it with the best attitude, and do it for long periods of time. If you show up, do what you don't want to do, but know that you have to do it, and you do it with the best attitude for long periods of time, you will have success. And most people just do not have the discipline to do that. And so ultimately, what happens to people is they get casual. They get casual in their relationship. Think about when you first met your significant other, right? Your husband, your wife, whoever it is. when you first met them, you were really focused, you were intentional, you were trying hard, you did the extra things, you took them out on dates, and all of a sudden you get married, and what happens? You become relaxed, you become casual. And when you become casual in your relationship gets on a steady decline because you're not putting the intentional effort in that you need. And I think in your business right now, somebody needs to hear this today, that you're too casual in your business. You're too casual with how you're showing up to meetings. You're too casual with how you're preparing for the call. How much you prepare shows how much you care. You're too casual with how you're treating your employees. You're too casual with the man in the mirror, how you're actually making yourself accountable. You have casualness all over your life, and then you wonder why the bed you wake up in is a bunch of casualties of mistakes that are happening and lack of results. And it's because 90 days ago, you were just casual. And it really resonated with me. Here's the guy that obviously has had a tremendous career, worth hundreds of millions of dollars probably at this point. And he literally boiled down success in business to being disciplined, to being accountable. And that is it. Not tools. It's not even the widget that you're selling and the offering that you have. All those things are nice and they matter. But what matters first and foremost is that you must be accountable and be disciplined, and you cannot be casual. And we all know, because we've been in this business long enough and you've been listening to Monday Mindsets long enough, that casualness is a direct result from your mindset. How your mindset is and how you fed your mind will directly dictate how casual you are in life. Who you surround yourself with, the environment you place yourself in, will dictate how casual you are. Because you get around successful people or more successful than you will immediately raise your standards because they will naturally bring you up. We all know this. So here's the thing. Are you taking your mindset with such intentionality and such proactiveness, or are you being casual about your mindset, what you're watching, what you're listening to, who you're hanging around? Are you being intentional about feeding your mind so that then will flow into every single habit that you have? So anyways, that was the message for me this past week that really resonated with me. I think I've shared it 5 or 6 times with my team members because it just resonated so much. It shows up in the little things of how you dress, how you show up to meetings, how you do your phone calls, how you treat your marriage. Are you too casual? And if you're casual, you'll have casualties. So let's shape up this week. Let's get out there, be intentional, be proactive, really think about what we're doing, not let this mediocrity slip in. Get out there and win for you, for your clients, for your family. Let's make it happen this week. Happy Monday. Hope that gets your mindset right. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you.